All right, you're watching SGDQ 2017, and we're going to go to a brief ad.
Claim loot in Overwatch. Get 1 golden loot box with a guaranteed legendary item. Plus more coming soon. Plus a free channel sub every 30 days and ad-free viewing on Twitch. Play Warframe and get the exclusive Prime with Prime Bundle. Instantly unlock one of the most sought-after Warframes, Frost Prime. You'll also get an exclusive Prime Cyan Dana, a Warframe slot, and a Dragon mod pack. Start your free trial of Twitch Prime today.
Humble monthly subscribers get over $100 worth of games for only $12 every month, and they get to keep the games. It's just like a regular Humble bundle. The Humble Trove is a new collection of Humble Originals and other DRM-free games, and it's only available to Humble monthly subscribers. The Humble Store also offers over 5,000 games, and Humble monthly subscribers get a 10% discount on store purchases. And the Humble community has given over $98 million to charity so far. Humble bundles, Humble store purchases, and Humble monthly subscriptions all benefit charity. And Humble monthly subscriptions and regular Humble bundles both make great gifts. Individual Steam keys from any bundle can be gifted to a friend. Another one of our sponsors is Fangamer. That's www.fangamer.com. They have official merchandise for Undertale, Hollow Knight, Hyper Light Drifter, and more. They also offer 2 Earthbound books that will absolutely, positively not help your speedrun time at all. But they're really cute, and I think you should check them out because they're pretty funny and they're pretty informative. They also have clothes, figurines, pins, plushes, and books. And all profit from the sales of GDQ merch goes directly to Doctors Without Borders. We have a $10 donation from No Kappa. This event is always a blast to watch. This year I'm totally getting my work done at my job. Kappa. Good luck to all the runners. All right, we're back. You're watching SGDQ 2017, and now it's time for Omnigamer and the Firemen.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is the Firemen, which I'm sure most of you have not heard of, but that's okay. We'll get some into the backstory in just a little bit. Just to let everybody know, this is being played on the US prototype cart, and I'll talk a little bit more about that means, but at the very least, be paying attention to the text when I give you some chances to read it. In any case, get started on this. I'll let you know when to go on timer. It's just the minor backstory of the entire game. It's the futuristic 2010, and well, apparently a very pessimistic futuristic 2010, but some massive chemical company in New York has caught fire because somebody left a kitchen unattended, of course.
So this is PJ's backstory.
Pretty much. But the main thing is we play as Pete and Danny, who are responding to this. Get ready on time in just a moment. And go. So the main thing here is it's a run and gun style game. So you have the ability to shoot various things, but instead of baddies, you're fighting fire, which leads to a couple pretty interesting things. Your main weapon is a long spray, which is just at distance, as well as a ground spray, which covers a short distance in front of you. They do the same amount of damage, but there's different properties attached to each. So the long spray only can hit one enemy at a time, whereas the ground spray can hit multiple. It also moves me quite a bit slower. The other major mechanic here is my AI-controlled partner, Danny, who, if you attend my stream long enough, you'll also know him as Kevin. But Kevin here is the only way that we can progress. He needs to press the button to move forward, so I need to manipulate him a lot. Please don't. Okay. Robot's no good. Danny has a number of other uses, but he's also just very temperamental. With any luck, I'll be able to drag him along with me the whole way through. But this first stage, the entire backstory of what we're doing initially is that, I mean, this is a heavy chemicals company, so of course they happen to just have some super volatile chemicals lying around, and we need to go rescue that. Sitting in the basement, it's called MDL, which, as best as I can tell, doesn't stand for anything. But it also introduces us to major speed mechanics of the game, which will be damage boosts. So my entire health bar should be used as a consistent resource. The first stage, not so much. There's just not enough to boost off to make it effective. But everything else is built up around trying to get through things. First boss, not much of a challenge. We have water bombs, which are in addition to both the spray and the jet. And water bombs do an amazing amount of damage. But one of the reasons that you paid for doing the US prototype, this game originally came out in Japan and Europe. So it was slated to come out in the US. Oh gosh, a bad pattern on this stage. But right at the final set, before it released, we didn't get anything. They just canceled it right there. But the prototype exists, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, we get a glorious... Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. I missed the small flame. So we get a very poorly translated sequence out of it. So you can rescue various people along the way. I believe that there's 1 to 3 people in every stage, and every time you do that, you get some health back. For the most part, I'm going to be as bad of a fireman as I possibly can and ignore all of them. Sorry, guys. You can also see that there's a lot of fire that I'm just flat out ignoring. This game has some really complex spawn mechanics, so I really have no idea what's coming up in each room. I have a general idea of some of the good configurations, but whatever they give me, I have to deal with. It makes it really interesting as a speed run. I can guarantee you there's some configurations of the rooms that I will have never seen before that'll happen during the course of this run. That explosion has feed the fire. Thank you, Winona. Yeah, the US prototype, maybe it's a good thing it didn't come out. The script for it is just really awkward and plenty of typos, which is really strange because it did come out in the UK, so it has a perfectly reasonable English translation there, but for whatever reason, whatever they decided to go with was a little less than successful. But I'll try and call out the places where it's at least the most humorous. The other thing to note is that this category is deathless. So I'm going to go through without purposefully dying. And death in this game has some very beneficial pieces to it. The main thing is that it gives you a full health refill, so you're free to damage boost as much more as you want. You also get one additional water bomb, and you get an extended invulnerability cycle. So all of those things together mean that you can finish the game about 20 in-game seconds faster with deaths as opposed to deathless, but it's also a lot less safe for a marathon setting. We're also introduced to one of my favorite characters, Frank Weller, who apparently did not do a very good job on any safety precaution whatsoever, but don't worry, he's got fine design down.
So the fire rate when you beat the boss, is there any? Do you get anything for it, or is it just?
No, that's just an extra metric. At the very end of the game, you get a score based on, well, the cumulative amount of how many continues you use, how many people you rescue, your fire rate in each stage, and how quickly you do it. So it's really difficult actually to get a perfect score in this.
So you not see your score till the end of the game, then?
Nope, you do not see your score. I mean, you get the hints at least, and I can, with a spreadsheet, I'll know exactly what my time is. The primary timing mechanism for this game is in-game time. So
Interesting.
I basically watch what the timer is at the very end of each stage, and I can use that to calculate what my end game is going to be. All right, every stage kind of introduces a new mechanic. This one has the falling floors, in addition to a bunch more robot friends. The special thing about Danny, on top of just being a real champion and taking out fire with an axe, is that he also can one-shot basically every robot, whereas I would need to shoot them for about 2 seconds. Yes, what wrong? Thank you, Winona. Another choice line. If I get this, all right, I think. All right. So those arms, the hitbox for them isn't too bad by itself, but if Danny decides that he doesn't like them too much, he'll run right up, make them explode, and then that has a huge explosion. So, good job, Danny. Nothing but a fire truck basket ride.
He's just relaxing now, man.
Yep.
Been doing all the work with that axe.
All right. We got the damage boost there to avoid the explosion. But this is the only point in the game in which you have a forced rescue. So in the deathless category, I'd go through without actually rescuing anybody but this guy. What are you doing? Get over here. What? No. Stop it. I need a button.
He saw something alive, and he need to make it not alive.
He has just such crazy tunnel vision. He's got to get that fire every time.
I'd like to know where he takes the humans at. If he just like throws them out the window, or
pretty much. This boss is among the most tricky because it's random where he starts up, and oh no, that's a terrible position. Get him back in the corner. Okay. This boss has so many forms, and they get progressively harder, but I save up just enough water bombs to take him out. So there's stage 3. Control panel, got it. Button, button.
So how much damage does a firebomb do compared to like?
Of course it's
normal
damage,
attack?
you just kicked it. Let's see, fire does 1 damage every 2 frames. Or I'm sorry, the water does 1 damage every 2 frames. Fire themselves, one of the key pieces to this is that you have to damage boost off of just the right enemies. Most enemies in the game will do 8 damage to you, and you have 48 health to start on each stage. But the small flames that appear, these ones right here, only do 4 damage. So you want to basically find every opportunity to boost off of those if you get the chance, and absolutely avoid the extra large flames, which not only do 16 damage, but have a heavy knockdown attached to them as well. So, oh my gosh, you actually went right to it. Danny is also a professional kicker. Get over here. Oh my, this is a great kitchen. This is normally one of the hardest stages just because it's really hard to get Kevin to come along in just the right way. All right. But if you've been paying attention, we've covered, there we go. We have a chemical lab, we've been through a kitchen, a parlor. I have no idea what they're doing with this building, but apparently they're doing something right. Every variety of activity you can think of. But now we're in a television studio. And this is a chemical company that's really doing well for itself. But this boss, the optimal strategy, I need to pick up as many water bombs as I can, and I need at least one hit worth of damage boosting on the boss himself to be able to take out as many of his side pieces. But it's a delicate thing to try and play this through, just because every time that the stage itself is different, I have to worry about, well, am I going to get through with enough HP, and what? Do something. All right, here we go. It's also the first instance of the heat waves, which do 8 damage and knock you down, and the only way to avoid them is ducking, or in my case, damage boosting right through them again. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Wasted every water bomb. So, if you've also been paying attention, we picked up MDL at the beginning, and then of course we proceeded to go and fight fire with the highly explosive chemical just right at our waist strap. Seems like a good idea. Until now. The main plan leading up to this was simply to take the MDL, because there's no sprinkler system, we were going to go all the way up to the roof and use the explosion from the MDL to open up the a water tank, and that would put out the rest of the fire in the building, or something like that. Well, we don't have the MDL anymore. We might not be the brightest of firemen. We're doing our best. So now we got to come up with something different. There we go. This is a really dangerous section because we have exploding robots, as well as... oh, stop that. I don't need that.
Good thing you got rain that does nothing.
The rain actually does do something. It does 1 damage every few seconds.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? It's wonderful. At least it does something, though.
Yeah.
But now we're just a regular office center.
Regular, nothing
to see
out of
here.
the ordinary.
You got all the normal cleaning flying robots.
Yep.
You know, typical for 2010.
They just clean everything with fire.
Cleanse it with fire. All right, this is if I was doing the regular any percent. Okay. If I was doing any percent, this is the second stage that I would take a death in, because there are some really difficult rooms coming up, and it's to my... What are you doing? Get up here, Danny. Danny?
Oh, no. Danny, don't do it. I don't know what you're doing.
What? Okay.
Good job, Danny.
He turns on no clipping mode at some point. Okay. So rescue one more person in here. This is the hell office. There's just so much to navigate around, and you really want to avoid spawning as many of those large flames as possible. If you're lucky, you'll get a small flame before each one. Uh-oh. I'm not going to make it. I did. All right. But it's really tricky to get through without that.
Did he open that door while attacking the fire?
No. You're crazy. Don't question him. He does what he wants. He's got 2 arms.
Yeah, I mean, he is attacking fire with an axe. I mean, I ain't going to question his
so
ability.
there is a sequel to this game. It came out on PlayStation. And in that game, you can actually have a second player control Danny. Okay, I barely made it. I need 1 hit for this boss, because otherwise it can be really dangerous. So, strategy here, if I get 2 water bombs and drag Danny, there you go, just beat on him. There we go.
Wow, get some.
All right, we're coming in on the final stage now.
How much damage does Danny's axe do?
It does 4 per hit, and you can swing it twice in a second.
Wow.
Green button, and 7. That's some security code. Good job, you found 7, Danny. So we're trying to prep a room at the very top, right near the water tank, to blow up when we cause a backdraft, because that's our next best idea, causing a backdraft explosion to take out the water tank. Unfortunately, all the power is cut off to the shutters. That wasn't a good start. This is a really dangerous section. The entire area up here. Oh. Okay, another 8 damage that I did not need to take. I do have a backup strategy, but ideally I'll be able to get through to the stairwell to the rooftop without taking any more damage than this. But since this is the final stage, we also get introduced to all sorts of new flame types. They've been gradually introducing them as we go along, but now they see it fit to give us the rest of them. The main thing, though, are the ones you see on the rooftop, because you'll have a couple of what I call chasers. And what they do is they just move up to you really quickly and stop. They won't touch you right out. That you need to walk into them for it to hit, but it's kind of unnerving otherwise. And the other big one is the sploders, and they'll be pretty self-explanatory when we get there. Oh, good stage. This room in particular is one that Danny really struggles with. I have a good amount of HP. We're going to do this. No backup strats today. All right. The rooftop is just all around dangerous, and if I get a good pattern, I should be able to damage boost through most of it, but I need enough health going into the final boss to feel a little better about that. There's the sploder. You can tell because no other audio plays when a sploder is going. Whew, the dodges. One more. Oh, okay, that was a key damage boost. The body of the sploder only does 4 damage, but they're constantly exploding, which does 16 and a heavy knockdown. So you have to kind of get in right between when they're exploding.
How much health do you say you have total?
48.
48? Wow. That's quite a bit then.
Yeah,
Just one
it's a serious business. There's another mechanic that you've not seen yet, and that is when you have 3 water bombs and you pick up a 4th, rather than give you more water bombs, you can't get more than 3, you get super water, which now you're doing 50% more damage. But the caveat is if I get hit at all, it goes away. So damage boosting goes out the window at that point. So it's not really useful until this last sequence. Yeah, right there. There you go, final boss.
Nice.
But wait, time's not yet. Gotta cause the backdraft yet. When the window shatters, it's time. All right, I got a good position right off the start. Nice. And time. All right. We'll let the short ending sequence go through because that's probably the most significant part of playing on the US prototype, beyond just having every character's name capitalized and various other really awkward translations throughout. The game itself is a lot of fun. I encourage anybody, if you have an opportunity to give this a try. Oh, do you hear me? Good job. Oh, he can hear him. He can hear her just fine. It's a really unique take on the run-and-gun genre, and there's a lot of complexity to finding the exact right way to try and go through. And like I said, there's just so much randomness to how things spawn and how you're able to manipulate it that going through is different every time. But yeah, now we get some parting words of wisdom from Pete and some extra choice words from Mr. Frank Weller.
Look how he said he was stuck under a beam, and that was like clearly just a giant rock.
That's the beam that I've seen. So, since I finished the game with Super Water, I get Super Water in this ending sequence too, which will give me that little steam effect, as well as wheel Pete, good job. As well, it'll speed up the movement as I walk around the corner here. Pete gets a little poetic.
Krong?
Yeah, what went wrong?
What didn't go Krong?
It's Christmas Man from Mega Man 13. And there you go. The classic ending. So at the very end, it'll go through the credits, and it'll give me various score rankings, so the final in-game time, what my fire rate was, how many people I rescued, how many continues I used, but this was deathless, and that's all we need to know for now. So everybody get ready for Plock with Countdown up next, and yeah, thank you for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you again later.